actually comes, it's like in between um, like management and computer science. Okay, and some parts of mathematics will be involved. So for any presentation, most of the company's presentation, this visualization software will be used. Okay, here you can do some statistical analysis also. From some basic statistical analysis also can be done using this data visualization Tableau. First, the first part of this program will be like I will be explaining what is data science and what is the data, so you can understand better while going to this using the software. Fine. So you can say something like this. Okay, what is data science? Why the data science is very important? Okay, it's nothing but what is data science means whatever uh, information, whatever thing you're processing with the data. It can be like if you're from chemistry means if the sir is from chemistry means he'll be doing n number of experiments. Okay, if you're synthesizing some compounds or something means you'll be having some list of react. You will be doing list of combination of reaction, the experimentation. Okay, so what is doing a number of experiment, like what is a in normality of 0.1, what will be the result? In normality of 0.2, what will be the result? So each and every set of experiment will be having some results coming up. So you need to interpret all those things and you need to present in a nice way. And so how, so it'll be maybe like in if you are dealing with some 10 set of experiment, it's fine, you can do it manually. What about if you're having some hundreds of data or thousands of data? It's very tedious work to interpret and do some analytical work, and also you need to present in a very interactive way. A ppt is like it's a normal general thing which is somewhat like outdated in a way of presenting a data. Okay, so if the data is there, it will be like outdated because of its inefficient in interactiveness. So the data is not interactive in such a way, so the people may not understand it better. So we came across a tool called a data visualization tool. So one of the very prominent and widely used tool is Tableau. Fine. So here first we can understand what is uh, data science. Okay. So before we have something like this. Okay. This is computer system or like this. Okay. Now it's completely modified into a supercomputer based system. So what happened? The memory is uh, increased. So our capacity to store the data is tremendously increased. So we need to have a very good processing of those data. Okay, even you can see the phone. The phone was just used only for making a call. Now this for nowadays the smartphone can do anything like our normal PC what we have done before 10 years of time. This have a lot more advantages. Okay, this having a processing unit, RAM, ROM, everything we are having inside the mobile phone itself. 6 GB of RAM in mobile phone is never heard of before. Recently, before 5 years, it was not heard, but now it became a normal thing. 3 GB of RAM, 6 GB of RAM. Okay, so this became like uh, a normal thing because we are having a lot of data. Each and every day we are generating a lot of data which we need to get processed. Okay, this can be any data. It's not respective only the um, only for information related data or any specific kind of data. It can be any data. You can have your own field of work. Will be if you are doing some experiment, you'll be having a lot of data. Basically, if you are doing like primary research, only you people are doing, you may having a set of data like a 10 or 20 experiment you'll be doing, having a small set of data. If you are doing some secondary data like getting something from government database and processing, if you're recently you can take coronavirus case, lot of data processing was going to happening around the world, right? Everything is based on a data science only. Okay, any doubt so far? You can give a thumbs up or unmute it and you can just reply it. Okay. Okay. So if you have any doubt, you can join in there. You can ask me so that it will be easy for me to expand and done there. Okay. Okay. Then, what is the purpose of this, and what type of jobs you'll get if you learn how to process the data? Okay. So, if you see in my micro level, you can see some experimentation and doing some processing of data. Things like the companies like Google, Amazon, or any other big companies dealing with tons and tons of data. Okay, now like the generation has passed, maybe like even 20 years. What happened is, gold making the industrialization is gone. Then it came to maybe like oil-based thing. Oil-based thing also gone. Industry development based on oil also gone. Now it completely who's the companies who's having data. Uh, okay, the companies who is having a data is going to rule the world. That's the thing. The new generation things are going happening, right? So I think sir is having some problem. Maybe it will get rectified from his end. Okay. Okay, I will tell you what are the jobs if you learn how to process the data. Okay, so we call in a generalized term, we call it the data science jobs. We call as it basically start from maybe like a data engineer or statistician. Okay, so it comes first, you'll be going getting into a job in a way of data engineer, a data architect. At last, will be become a data scientist. Here you can see something like what are the things you need to learn to become a data scientist. Okay, this whole data science is consists of math, statistics, and algorithms. It is like a parts of statistics you need to learn, some parts of maths you need to learn, and some algorithm. Algorithm nothing but is computer science based. Okay, and data communication. What are we going to is here the data communication is very important. In this area, the Tableau come into the picture. Okay, a Tableau coming into the picture. This is called the visualization tool. The Tableau, all the software comes into this picture. Data visualization software. We also call this software as a BI tool. BI tool nothing but business intelligence tool. Okay, a lot of people use this tool to take the business decisions. Okay, to process the data. Maybe like what are the sales in this area? Maybe like if you take something like India, where maybe like where the ice cream sales is very high. Mostly they will take some survey of data. They will probably find out this area the ice cream sales is very high, where we can improve our branches or something into that area. Okay, some kind of information they will get due to using the data and take their business decision. Okay, just 1 second. 1 second, I'll just make it. Fine, sorry, I just got a call. Okay. Okay. So all this software is called as maybe like a BI tool, which is called business intelligence tool. Okay, so we'll be learning something like math statistics algorithm, and we are going to cover this part, data communication. We need to know how to communicate with the data, and then some part of software engineering. There is something like we need to know some programming. Okay, so if we know these two, maths and algorithm plus data communication, we become a data analyst. This position is called data analyst. Is for a job. If you're going for some interview or something, it will be called like a data analyst. And if we know something like a combination of math and algorithm along with some software engineer or software engineering, maybe it will be probably suiting for some computer science students or some statistician. Here it will be called as data engineer. Okay, if we know all this part, okay, math and statistics, data communication or software engineering, it's called like a data scientist. It is like a complete package where you'll be handling a data communication, a data engineering, maybe we'll be knowing at the domains of three domains, maybe the maths and algorithm, data communication, and software engineering. All three will be covered in this area. Fine. So what will be today agenda? Today we'll be knowing, we are doing introduction to data. So I'll be explaining what is data and what will be the impact of doing some data science. And we'll be learning how to use a software called Tableau. It is a data visualization software. And if you're already installed, you'll be skipping this installation of Tableau software. Hope you people are already installed. And if you're not installed, you can just browse it. Tableau public. You can find a link something like this. Tableau public. You can just download from the software. It is around 417 MB. So you can just download it. And then you'll be doing some exercises using data visualization. And last, we'll be doing having some assessment. Fine. So what are the process of data analysis? What are the process of that inside the data analysis? Um, the first step will be data acquisition. First, we need to get where is the data is, where the data is. We need to know where the data. Okay. The first step will be a data acquisition. Fine. So where to get the data? First, you'll understand where to get the data before beginning of the session. Okay. So I'm just using a browser. Can you share? Can you see my screen? Hope you see my screen. There is a website called Kaggle. Okay, that's a website called Kaggle. This website is generally used by all the data science people. Okay, so this is something like where you can get a lot of. It's like a forum or a platform where you can register yourself. You can just use this register link and register yourself and become a member of this Kaggle. Here you can get a lot of data sets. Data sets nothing but a set of tables. Okay, maybe like if you want to do some research on maybe like COVID-19, you get a lot of global forecasting or analysis visualization and comparison. See, they have done some visualization comparison. It's done by some Indian people only. Okay, so you'll get a lot of information on this. Okay, you just download the data and then start analyzing your thing. So here is one of the source where you can get uh, a data set. Data is nothing but information. Okay, or else you can use another. If you want to work on some government data, you use gov.in. Okay. Okay. Here you can see something like this, or else you can directly can go like data dot government dot in. Okay, here it's a government website where you can see lot of data. You can get lot of data. You can do from even from education or something like drinking water sanitation or something like this, health related, or what is the data source of COVID-19, or you can see the household or user member covered by health related insurance, health insurance, or something. Whatever data you will find it here. You can just download the data. You can see some visualization. This is called a basic visualization done by the government. Okay, you can see some Tamil Nadu having what on a percentage of household member having a health insurance scheme. And we are seeing, you can easily tell that Andhra Pradesh is having a lot of people who's having household insurance. You can see what is the health scheme in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, in state wise. Okay, a lot of information are getting. Apart from that, they are providing a data also. This is completely open source. You can just download the data and then do it in your angle. Okay, it's nothing like it's depending upon a creativity only. You can do by visualization in your way. It's nothing wrong like you should only do where the others people are doing. You can find out the new insights in your own angle. Fine. So you can get the data from here. This is the data. So you can just download it and then start processing. Okay. These are dashboard visualizations provided by Government of India itself. These are the places where you get a data. Okay. And there are another website called data.gov. Okay. It's something like US database. Same like India, US also providing some same kind of thing where it's related to agriculture, climate, consumer, ecosystem. Remember one thing, all data science used for a macro level of interpreting and finding some solution. Okay, so you need to get data from maybe like it's not working with 10 or 20 set of data. You need to have something like thousands of data where you can do the visualization and find out the problems and solutions. Okay, so then education, energy, all in all the area, all the department, that data is provided. You can use this also. And also our Indian government is also having same kind of database. You can also use that also. Fine. I'm just showing you. Okay. So currently we all know the coronavirus issues. So hope you remember this one. Worldometer.info coronavirus. This is some people providing uh, information or latest update on each and every day, where you can see a lot of everyday update on coronavirus cases and deaths and recover. You can see view by country also. You can see what are the countries are most affected. This is nothing but a database, a data set. Okay, so what is the new cases, total cases, number of deaths. This is a typical example of a data set where you can do visualization. If you click here, you can see some graphs attached here with. Okay, maybe like can take India also. You can see something like graphs. Okay, this is nothing but the visualization of the data. Okay, if you're dealing with tons and tons of data, you'll be having doing some visualization. So plotting such kind of, you can see something like interactive, right? If you crawl around this graph, you can see now what is the number of cases date by date. This is very interactive, by the way. Okay, this kind of graph can be plotted using a Tableau. Even better than this, we can plot using a Tableau. This is very interactive graph. When you click on this, it will be directed to some other graphs. Right? This is very interactive nature. So such graphs can this kind of graph cannot be possible in normal PPT or something. It's only possible using visualization software. There are a lot of visualization software. Maybe like even you can use Metabase, which is a free. It's a free software, not unlike Tableau, which is like only the Tableau public will be free. Other than that, everything will be a paid one. And here the Metabase is completely open source software. This we can use it, or you can use like another tool called Power BI. This is also a data visualization software. This is developed by Microsoft. Okay, these are other software where you can use it and you can also try this. These are maybe like a competitive software to the Tableau. Fine. And what is the best tool? If you ask what is the best tool for data visualization, you can call us Sisense. So you can just note them. Okay, this Sisense is a business. It's interesting like a visualization software. It's a number one tool. If you know this software, 100% you get a placement. And damn sure, because this demand of this software is very high. So people know this software. But basic to all, it comes along how we need to know what is visualization, how to do visualization. What is the advantage of Sisense means? It will give you the interpretation along with the graphs. Okay, once you solve the problem, you'll get interpretation generated along with while doing the solving the problem itself. Okay, so this is a very sophisticated, very advantage. It's having a lot of advantage. It's a software called Sisense. Okay, so I'm just introduce what are the other software apart from Tableau, so you can just have in your mind to practice all those things. Okay. One second. Okay, so you know where to gather data and how to process data. The second step, you processing data. Whatever data you're getting, it is like a raw data. The raw data, in sense, there will be a lot of maybe like impurities you can call in your raw in a blank way. You can call it as impurities. For example, if you have something like this, maybe a column like this, maybe as name, maybe a mobile number, email ID. My handwriting will be bad because I'm just dragging using a mouse. Okay, just try to adjust it. An address. Okay, if you are having something like this, and you're having something like name X and mobile number something, an email ID something, an address something. Okay, so something like this, you're having a data set. So you may not expect you're having all the mobile number and all the email ID. Some people may not, maybe the person Y may not given the mobile number. Here it will be like a blank. It will be typed as NA, not applicable. Or he may not having a mobile number itself. Or he may not having an email ID also. But he'll be having address. Some address will be there. Okay. So person Z may given you a mobile number, but may not given the email ID, and then he may not given you address. So something like this. Okay, you'll be having some impurities like this. You need to, if your data is like this, we cannot do any processing. Okay, first you need to sort out all this missing data, and then if it is replaceable, you can replace, or else you need to remove that record itself. Okay, something like if it is replaceable means the things like if it is not a personal data, maybe like maybe you're having a mobile number 1 and mobile number 2. So mobile number 2 is not there means you can just replace the mobile number 1 into mobile number 2, or maybe a permanent address and temporary address is there. He has given a permanent address, but temporary address is not given. Something you can replace with the permanent address into the temporary address and then solve the problem. It's like replaceable things. If not replaceable, what we can do is we need to delete this thing, or else we need to find out some alternative. Okay, only after doing this, you can do next. You can go for next third step, data exploration. Okay, so this data processing and data exploration is something like we need to do it together. Okay, what is data exposure? Some people maybe like if you're getting a source from different locations, maybe like Chennai, you're getting some data. Okay, some Trichy, you're getting some data. What happens? Uh, Maybe like the field worker, the missing data, one person will be marked like NA, not applicable in Chennai. Okay, if in Tiruchi, what happened? The who is going to survey the thing, he'll be marking like uh, he'll be just marking dash, or even maybe in Coimbatore, another person what he's marking is only zero, something like this. Okay, each and every city is marking different way, but the all means the same only. Okay, they are just trying to convey there is no data. Okay, the end result is no data, but each and every one is conveying in different own way. One is in Coimbatore, they are conveying as making as zero. If there is no data, they are marking as a zero. In Tirchi, they are not giving us a blank or giving us like a dash symbol. In Chennai, what they are doing, they're just giving a NA symbol. Okay, what happened? So each and every city having their own way of representing the null values. Okay, what they can do in that case, here is our duty to do the data processing. Okay, we need to find out what is NA, and we need to replace with any one similar thing. We can either replace everything into a zero or everything into NA. Okay, first we need to replace everything into a similar kind of single unit called NA or something. Okay, it's up to you. It's up to the data scientist who can process it. Okay, so that comes under data processing. Each and every location has each and every unique way of representing their data. So you need to process it. Maybe in address also a lot of confusion may happen. Maybe there will be like two lines of, maybe three lines of address will be there in some location. Maybe some location it will be having like 3, 4, 5 lines of address. Uh, so depending upon the area also, the address length of address may differ. So you need to process all those data and then find out maybe like they have some way of representing their own address. Okay, so new number, old number will be there. Some address may not have some similar kind of pattern. So address pattern will be different to time to time. Maybe the area location to location. Okay. So maximum the mobile number and email ID may not having a different pattern, but same. The name also having a different pattern. Some people are having a 2 name, some people are having a 3 name. If you go to Andhra or something, they will be having some very lengthy name with 2, 3 or 4, even 4 names will be there in Andhra. Okay. So what happens? The name pattern, the first name, second name, pattern of first name, second name will also get different. So all this space you need to find out how to manage the data. Sorry. So how to process the data? So you need to make all the data into a unique format before doing data exploration. Okay. Once you're done with this, you need to do the data modeling. Okay. The data modeling are nothing but once you're done with the exploration, you need to model the data. So you need to find some insights. Okay. So you need to compare anything and found out some maybe like a revenue versus sales, maybe like a 2 column revenue versus sales. If there is something like this, you need to find out what is the if the sales increases, whether revenue increases or not. It is not. It is not actually. It should not like. Then it will be opposite thing, like when sales increases, revenue should also increase, right? It's not possible in all the cases. In some cases, maybe like maybe the shop is giving in discount. Maybe it is giving around 70% of discount. It's is the company wants or shop wants to discard all the stock, means what they will do, you will give some very high discount. Okay, in this case what happens, if sales increases, the revenue will obviously decrease, right? So we need to consider all these things. Okay, it depends on time to time and situation whether the discount is applicable or not. Maybe the people like Flipkart, Amazon is curiously looking at this thing. During big billion days in Flipkart or Amazon, what happens? The sales drastically increases, but the profit may not be drastically increases. It may be very gradually, or even is maybe ending up in losses also to some extent. Okay, why that happening means they're giving just promoting their big billion sales or something is just for promoting their website and making the people to get addicted into their softwares or their platform. They want people to buy their sort. Once you once you bought the things, to get what you call, you get comfortable, and all whether if it is there is discount or not, you try to buy in the same place. Maybe mentally you assume that the Flipkart is very cheap or Amazon is very cheap, whatever it is. First they just give it a very high discount, an unbelievable discount, and then they just make profit after that. This business strategy they are using. That case you can expect, very well expect, like the revenue will decrease when sales increases. Fine. Any doubt in this? If you don't have any doubt, you can just I can go for next step. If you have any doubt, you can just ask me. Okay, I think there is no doubt. Okay, what are the application of this? I'll just tell you what are the application of in perspective of data science. Okay, where this data will be stored? Whatever data is generated will be stored inside the database. What is a database? Database is a collection of tables. Okay, a collection of tables is a database. Whatever data is collected will be stored inside a database. Okay, so we need to know what is the application of this collected data. So you might have find some very interesting fact, but you need to know how to use that. Okay, so one of the biggest application is IoT. Okay, using data. IoT is nothing but the abbreviation is Internet of Things. You may ask what is Internet of Things. Okay, you know the people, the the communication between, or no, maybe like non-living things, or communication between uh, without human interaction. If the communication happen between the two devices, it's called Internet of Things. In a simple way, you can understand in that way. What is IoT? IoT means in a very layman term, you can understand the communication of devices without a human interaction and take its own decision and act upon that decision. Okay, that is a very easy way to tell you what is IoT. Okay, you can, for a very good example of IoT is like you can take a smart mic. You can all IoT is termed into a word called buzzword called smart. Okay, so when we integrate IoT, we call it a smart system. Okay, for example, you can call a smart. If your IoT is there, you can call it as a smartphone, something like that. Another thing is smart mic. What is a smart mic? For example, I want to avoid the bad words told by any speaker. This mic will avoid any bad word or unparliamentary word without his knowledge. If he told me, that mic will filter all those things. It will replace with a beep or something like this. I'm maybe like discovering something like a smart mic. What that happen? First, you need to create one database. Mm, to listing out what and all unparliamentary words or all the bad words into one data. Okay, so that will be stored in a database. When the speaker, and we need to train that system, and we need to speak that word, and then the voices will be recorded and kept in a database. When the speaker uh, so when the speaker used to communicate, what happens? He may end up in some bad language. Means what happened? Each and every word will be checked against the database, whether in the database that word is not there or not. If it is not there, it will allow to the speaker. If it is there means it will replace with a beep sound, something like this. If the person is talking some bad word means what happen? If it will check with the database, if the database has that word, it will be replaced with some beep sound or something like that. So the mic will avoid all those unwanted problems. This is called, it is decision taken by the mic itself whether it should allow or not. Okay, so this is a very updated version of maybe like is one of the application in IoT. Okay, so I'm getting a maybe like what is the updated version of IoT? I'm getting one question. The updated version of IoT is actually is an ongoing development area where the people get used to the IoT devices. Maybe one of the IoT is like a smart fan. Okay, smart fan. When you get into a home, the light automatically switched on using a sensor. The sensor will just detect uh, the incoming of the person, and then it will transmit the data into the maybe lightning system, and the light automatically switched on. Okay, this is a home lightning system. And also you can see something like a fan getting automatically controlled, maybe the air conditioner having at your home will get automatically controlled based on weather thing. And very updated thing you can see in our metro trains. If you are in based on Chennai means you can see our metro trains. What happens is it has an automatic lighting system based on outside light and outside temperature. Inside temperature will get maintained. If the outside temperature is very hot, the inside temperature, maybe like AC air conditions, is set to the uh, temperature of 26 around 26 degrees temperature. I went to the this metro thing, metro train. What do you call it? The production system or something, the maintenance cell and all. They told all this information. They have a very good IoT system where due to changing of weather condition, lightning condition, all internal parameters get monitored. Even a power system, even a braking system, or everything is based on IoT. Whether you are applying brake or something, whatever energy is getting generated during brake application, it getting stored. Okay, all these advanced techniques are used. Okay, so these are different small concept based on IoT. So all these are the thing based on the data which is stored inside a database. Without a database, IoT doesn't work. Okay, we need to have some stored data to efficiently operate this IoT system. Fine. So once you start to handle data, you need to learn about the data security also. Without knowing the data security, we cannot touch any data. Okay, so data security major concern in each and every data related industry. Maybe you can call like Google or Amazon or even a Facebook. You know very well those companies are suffering a lot due to data theft and data piracy, and what is the privacy of us, and the data getting leaked, and Google is tracking our each and everything. So we have a lot of myths and rumors, and even some part that is true also, right? So uh, how to get rid of all those kind of things? Okay, we have a strong system called data security. Without data security, we cannot approach our data system. Okay, the first thing is what are there are just main thing is very three-step of data security system are there. Okay, one is data encryption. You don't know the very well. Data encryption works like, one second. Okay, this data encryptions works like it's like a mathematical thing. You can see something like this. Okay, it's a matrix where there will be having some matrix transpose, matrix multiplication, everything will be there. And then your format, maybe if your format is word means that will be converted into some other format. Okay, XYZ format. Okay, same if you're decrypting means what happens, same XYZ will be converted back to a word. Okay, this is maintained by some algorithm that is called 32-bit algorithm, 32-bit, 64-bit security system. 128-bit. Everything will be there. I think 128-bit is quite widely used. I think 128-bit security system. 32-bit is not there. Okay, the 128 bits is more widely used. It's nothing but a matrix multiplication, which will convert this your format into some other format, and then again it will be converted back. This is a normal thing, and you know very well you can do a password security also in the system. Always the encryption system is protected with the password. Okay, you'll be having some strong password. Once the password is active, this thing, the matrix multiplication, all this thing will be happen. This is called data encryption. Other thing is, this I'll come to later part, data masking, data backup. Backup is widely used in maybe like in government or something like that, in places something like that. Even in large company like Google or something, they will be having a data backup. What is a data backup system? Data backup system is nothing but we need to, if there is some accident happen, maybe a fire accident or something happen, what happen? Your uh, your data will be lost, right? Your data will be lost. So we need to have a backup in some other area. Most in India also, they are having a lot of data backup system. Normally they are kept in hilltop. Okay, it will be kept in hilltop or something where there won't be affected by flood or something. Even a 2-3 location, maybe in Andhra they will be keep on data backup. In maybe like south, if if India is like this, they will be having 2 locations, maybe in Delhi, uh, Chennai, or Calcutta. If some natural calamities happen and we lose south, in south backup means north backup will be used to get regenerate our data, right? If something like east the area is get affected or with some natural calamities, maybe our south area, south will get provided. Okay, this will be geometrically or geographically, this data backup centers will be provided. Okay, maybe in middle, maybe this is also used for military application also. Military data, everything will be stored here. Okay, we need to have backup in different location. Also internal backup system also will be there. Even in banking system, what happens, they'll be having internal backup system. One PC, apart from one system, they'll be having one backup system. Okay, normally it will be operated, but all the whatever operation is done here, it will be transferred into this backup system. This is just to safeguard our data from any data lost. Okay, imagine you are having a Google Drive, and all the things you are just uploaded in a Google Drive, and you are thinking like it will be very safe, and you don't have any backup of your Google Drive. If something happened to Google data center and your all the Google Drive documents lost, what will be the net effect? A Google complete, a Google trust on Google will just drop, right? What the Google will do, they will be having the same data or data backup in different locations. Whether if they lose without their knowledge also, they will just, they can recover back your data and give back to you on time. Okay, that's a trust we have on Google. Okay, it's not nothing like Google has its own policy to safeguard our personal information, and even all the this data related thing, companies having their privacy and all this thing. We are normally, the Google is what is the industry of Google? We need to know the Google is nothing but a marketing industry. What they are doing is just marketing. If the company is there, they want to market some stuff, maybe uh, but the company doesn't know who to market. Only the targeted marketing is done by the Google. For example, he want to sell something like a religious book. Okay, some religious book the company want to sell. He cannot target all the people, right? He only want to target only the some religion, and then in that religion he want to target some religious group of people, so that he can sell his books or CDs or videos or something kind of thing. So if he's completely marketing to all the people, that company may get a bad impact or bad negative return also. So he want to only target a specific group of people who is most interested in religious stuff. Okay, so what the people will do, uh, he will contact Google, or Google will provide based on your activity on web browser or email activity. Google knows what are the set of people who you are interested in, what things are interested. All the things the Google will know, right? So based on that, the Google will give you the the person, maybe like he won't reveal any personal information. He will take the ad from the company and then Google will post in your website. Okay, whenever you are just browsing where whatever the last browsed, maybe if you are browse some printer or PC or laptop means the PC ad and laptop will keep on popping up in each and every website. Who is doing all those things? The Google is doing. Why? Because he understand like you are much interested on buying a mobile or buying a PC or mobile printer or something. So you keep on posting all the printer related ad to you. Okay, this is a work the Google is doing. Even a Facebook is doing the same thing. If you're browsing something based on interest, you're giving something like interest, right? Based on interest, the Facebook is just marketing. The Google and Facebook's are two big giant who is having a lot of your personal information and do targeted marketing. Fine. This is strength of data science. Okay. Any doubt in this? I'm getting something like doubt. Blockchain available for data security, sir, is available to compare the previous and future data, depends on location. Yeah, actually the blockchain technology is what is a what blockchain technology, what it replaces means it is replacing the uh, what do you call a transaction, uh, maybe like a broker, maybe like what do you call the Visa, Mastercard. All those people are like a agent of the transaction. Okay, this Visa, Mastercard, bank is there, another bank is there, bank A, maybe like a bank A is there, and bank B is there. Okay, so you want to transfer money from bank A to bank B to your from your friend's account to your account. What happens? The bank doesn't have this payment portal. Okay, this Visa, Mastercard, or PayPal having the payment portal. Okay, what they're providing is data encryption. Okay, they have the enclosed secure data encryption portal where your money may not get a theft while transferring from bank A to bank B. While this blockchain technology develop, this Visa, Mastercard, PayPal company will get collapsed completely. They don't want any Visa, Mastercard, PayPal, this transaction brokers. So completely this segment of thing will get disrupted. It only the bank A, bank will be there. In between, the blockchain technology will be there. So the blockchain technology provides high level of data security, so that these vendors, maybe like the PayPal, Master, Visa card, may not be required if the blockchain technology develops. But blockchain technology, we just focusing on cryptocurrency. It's just a one small segment of usage in blockchain technology. But other than that, a lot of upcoming technology, maybe blockchain technology platform will be used to developing all those things. Fine. I hope your doubt will be cleared. Okay. So I will just go for a data masking. Uh, can you see this Excel screen? Okay, hope you can see the Excel screen. So what is data masking? So if you are doing some private people who is likely to do the what do you call data project, maybe data science data project, trying to maybe you're working closely with some banks or something, and trying to find out who is a loan defaulter or something. I need to track the records on the loan defaulters and all those kind of things. Okay, if you are in such a position, how the companies or how you should ask the data. Okay, so say this is called masking, data masking. If the original name is maybe like if I'm taking some example like this, the original name is maybe like Manoj. Okay, and this loan amount maybe a Manoj or loan amount. Then address. Some assets. Okay. These are loan amount is something like oh maybe like 4 lakhs, or address maybe like they're giving something like good very big address. Number 10 um, KK Nagar, 3rd Street, something like this. 3rd Street, something like this. Okay, and want to know the asset also. He's having 3 in homes, something like this. Okay, something like this. If you're having something like data like this very personal data, right? So this person, the name of this person Manoj, if this data get leaked, this person called Manoj may have a lot of trouble. Maybe his bank balance. Okay, is very sensitive data where no one want to know, right? So this is a very sensitive data. Maybe he's having something like 7 lakhs or something. He's having some bank balance. So this is a very sensitive data. If someone knows this, he may get maybe like blackmail or something. He may kidnap or something. He may ask for money, or he try to do online kind of maybe attacking the cyber security kind of thing. So anything can happen. This is very sensitive data. Even the theft can go to his home and then do some robbery kind of thing. Whatever can happen. Okay, so this is very sensitive data. So how we can protect this? So we have a concept called data masking. In the concept called data masking, what they will do is they will change the name, the Manoj, into different name called Arjun. This is called first level of masking. This is called masking 1. Okay, this is called masking 1. So the original name, even the bank people doesn't know. This masking 1 name, only this name is known by the bank manager. Okay, and it will go to the second level of masking 2. Bank manager, what he will do is he will change the Arjun into Durai. Okay, and then he will supply this details to you. Only from this you will get a information, and even the address is there, right? It will get you might this have a limitation. Okay, maybe this address cannot be masked into Chennai to Trichy. It completely the location will get if your analysis involve geometrical location. Okay, if maybe like how many people are defaulting in Chennai, something if you want to find out in a geometrical way means you need to reveal that it is Chennai, but you should not reveal it is in KK Nagar. So it will be shortened up to the level of Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. Okay. So if you want to know even further, KK Nagar, if you want to know in Chennai, what and all area the people are getting defaulted, something kind of analysis kind of thing means we'll be neglecting this 33rd Street and number 10 will be gone. Only the KK Nagar, Chennai will be revealed. Okay. So only based on your analysis, this limitation or up to what level the data should be revealed will be decided by the bank manager based on his input, maybe this analysis, whatever analysis you want, he'll be doing in kind of that one. Okay, so up to that, what kind we can do means up to this KK Nagar only we can do. We cannot reveal a street name and then door number in any cost. Okay, the maximum limit we can do the data masking means only the street name and door numbers should not be revealed at any cost. Okay, this became a personal issue, a personal data when the address crosses beyond the location. Okay, if it cross, maybe like if there is only the 33rd street, if you reveal only 33rd street, maybe in that street 10 or 15 houses will be there. If you easily you can able to find out Fine. So we cannot go beyond that level. Only from to the location we can just restrict our revealing of data. This is called data masking, which is very much you need to know when you're dealing with a lot of data. When you became a data visualization or a data scientist, we need to know at level what level you need to handle the data. Fine. Any doubt in this concept? Okay. I go back to PPT again. You can see my PPT, right? Okay. What are the types of data available? You need to know once you get into the Tableau, you need to know what are the data types available. So we have a data type called one type is called categorical data, another is numerical data. These are two broad classifications. One is categorical, one is numerical. Okay, what is categorical means whatever name, address, everything is considered to be a categorical name data. But mostly the alphabets is involved. Okay, when there is letters or alphabets involved, it is called as categorical data. When there is numbers involved, we call it as a numerical data. Okay, maybe the price, quantity, or something we call as a numerical data. Okay, so categorical data is normally classified into ordinal, binary, and nominal. Okay, um, is quite maybe like what is nominal data means maybe a men and a woman are there. Okay, when there is a men and woman, if you cannot discriminate, maybe like classify into a men and woman, if there is like who is both are considered to be a same level of property, maybe like same level of you need to keep a men and woman in the same level when doing your analysis. Okay, so no one is superior than anyone. Okay, this type of classifications comes under a nominal thing, both are equal. Okay, uh, so we cannot classify uh, number of men's participators something, a number of women participators something. Okay, so even if you are making some information like this men and women are considered to be a nominal data. This no one is superior than this, just like a section A B in your class, maybe in your school days there will be two or three sections A B C. Another example like this A B C, there is three section A B C. None of the sections are superior than any. A is not superior than B, B is not superior than C. All the people, all the students are equally distributed inside the section, right? So this kind of classification is called a nominal classification. Binary means you know very well. Binary is 0 and 1, something like this, or A and B, yes or no, something comes in like yes or no. Okay, this comes under the binary, either or. This comes under a binary thing. Ordinal, if there is any superiority or something like that. If him A, B, C like sections are there, if students are splitted in a category like uh, maybe securing the marks more than 60% will be in A. The students securing less than 40 to 60% will be in B. 40 to 60% will be in B, and less than 40 will be in C. Means here it comes like ordinal data. Okay, in ordinal data, now we have a superiority of A and B and C. Okay, that's a different category. It's not nominal of if you classify like that. Okay, based on the inside thing, the student data is A, B, C are classified, where always the marks secured by students of A is always more than marks secured by B. So that here it comes into a ordinal data. Fine. Then comes to a numerical thing. Here we have continuous and discrete. Okay. What is between a continuous discrete? Maybe like your weight, height, everything comes to a continuous data. Okay, here everything comes to a continuous data, or even time also continuous data. Okay, so it goes beyond and beyond. Maybe like you can say I'm 167 centimeter. If you go closely, it may not be exactly 160, 167. You may end up in 167 point, maybe like 8. Okay, so even if you go closely, it may not be 167.8. It may be 167.85. So it goes, keeps on going, right? It's never-ending story to calculate the exact height of your thing. It keeps on going. Such kind of things called continuous data. Okay, discrete means it have a rigid number. Maybe like how many apples in a bucket. Okay, if it is 10 apples means it is 10 apples only. It may not keep on increasing if you go closely. Okay, if it is 10 means 10. How many windows in your home? If I'm having a 5 windows means that is a 5 only. Okay, it cannot be a continuous one. Okay, this kind of data is called continuous data. Fine. Any doubt in data type? Okay, I'm getting on doubt. What are the disadvantage of data masking? Disadvantage data masking means is a security is used for security reasons. The only disadvantage means if you're masking to certain point, maybe like if your Chennai is masked to Trichy means what happens? The total analysis will be collapsed, right? We cannot do some geographical analysis if the data masking is done Chennai to Trichy or India to US, something kind of thing. Is completely your whatever your data is doing is completely became nonsense kind of results, right? So we need to have some limitation on data masking. So that's what I'm telling you. Level 1 of masking, only the names, mobile number, or any sensitive information will be masked. Okay, the personal data will be like mobile number, name, and any health related thing will be masked as a security concern. Okay, these are disadvantages. Something like this. Your analysis may get void. Maybe like if you are too much of masking is done. Okay, you need to know what is the limitation of your masking. Hope it is clear. Fine. Okay. So we have something like this. Okay, once we go into Tableau, we may understand better. Here we have something like this. This is called raw data. Okay, this is called raw data. Here we may not understand anything. It will be looking like is some numbers, but it is a table as blood cholesterol level, but you may not understand in a much better way. Okay, it may be having some that's not in understandable way. Okay, what you can do is this is called raw data. Okay, the first step will be you need to convert into a ordering of data. Once you order the data, you may understand big uh, you may have some clarity than the first raw data. What you got to get clarity? You have a once you order, you may understand like it ranges from 171 to 227. The blood cholesterol level ranging from 171 to 227. So this is the clarity you are getting. So here that clarity was not. Hopefully, it's what not that. Okay, it was like some random number over there. You may not understand it. It's a 3-digit number, some hundreds or something. That is the one understanding you're getting. Here you get some clarity. It ranging from 171 to 227. Okay. So further, if you group the data into 170 to 180, 180 to for every 10 interval, if you group the data and find out a frequency table, who and all persons falling between 170 to 180, 180 to 190. So if you are considering all this frequency thing, you may end up very clear data where 190 to 200 level having 13 set of people. Okay, so what is the relative frequency means total number of frequency divided by the corresponding with the frequency. We're getting something a value like this. Okay, so this is here you get very clear idea what this frequency, what is this data source. It actually shows the blood sugar level. Here you can see a lot of most of the people falling between 190 to 200, and 220 to 230 people, only 4 people are there. Okay, most of the people are falling between this thing. So whether it is normal or not, it's up to you where you are going to interpret it. Okay. Any doubt in this? So the another concept is histogram. Histogram is nothing but once you plot same thing, once you plot the data into histogram, you get even more clarity. Okay, in a what do you call it? In a graphical format. That was like in a numerical format. If you plot that same thing into a graphical format, you have even more understanding. See, if I plot into histogram chart, you have something like this. Okay, this is called bell curve. Okay, it's called bell curve. You can easily tell the range between 190 to 200 is having very high. This is normally distributed, where the people the blood pressure gradually increase from 170. Maybe like people inside this range gradually increasing and gradually decreasing. Okay, the most of the people are between this range. Fine. So you have a lot more understand the data. So once the data is normally distributed, only then, so all the statisticians, all the people will be expecting this thing is this histogram should be normally distributed. If there is, if it is not normally distributed, the people try to avoid all those. Maybe like maybe some histogram. I will tell you in next slide. It will come. Okay, these are the other type of the histogram. You can see, right? You can see it's a different type of histogram here. One is symmetric, what I showed before, symmetric data, not symmetric. The first, the data will be very small, suddenly it will keep on rising, and then gradually it will be reducing. This is called non-symmetric. And then spread out. There is no something distribution there. Everything will be equally distributed. This is called spread out. Another is concentrated. Okay, this is called concentrated. Only certain group of people will be highly maybe like used to that. Maybe like only concentrated. Only some certain maybe if you go to a store or something, maybe maybe like one milk is there. Only 2 products are there. Only 3 or 4 products are there. One is milk is there. Another is unwanted thing like some plastic toys or something like kind of thing is there. Or what people tend to buy, only the milk will be tend to buy. The people only buy that milk. If you plot some graph like this, milk will be having a concentrated of graph. The plastic toy will be having something like this, and a carry bag or something. It will be very having a negligible impact on sales, right? The sales will be most focused on milk only because it will be a food product, right? Something like this will be plotted. That is called concentrated. Gap. This is also important parameter. So some group of people may not have. Maybe like in a locality, if you're having some locality, if you're taking survey, if you're taking some survey, maybe like a Besant Nagar or something kind of thing. Okay, in Chennai, you are taking some Besant Nagar. Okay, there are two level of people. One is the poor people near the beaches doing a fishing. Same Besant Nagar is also considered to be very richest place, where a lot of rich people are there. Okay, a beachside resort, maybe like resorts or something. A lot of rich people are there. Beachside view, all the rich people are also there. Even a fisherman, poor people are also there. And middle class is very negligibly found in area like Besant Nagar and all. So what happened if you're taking some survey? there will be a gap. Maybe like what is the uh, income of you? What happens? The income will be like they are having average wage of maybe like 500 rupees per day or something like this. Okay, 500 rupees to 1000 rupees. It comes the category of this category. Okay, there won't be people living in a category having a monthly income of 2000 rupees. That is considered to be a middle class people or upper middle class, something like this. 200 rupees per day. 1000 to 2000 rupees may not be there. Maybe a person getting an average salary average of 30,000 to 60,000 may not be there in this area. And then again, it jumps to the average getting a 10,000 rupees per day, who is considered to be very rich people in that locality. Here, the middle class people are completely absent, so getting a gap like this. So you can understand, right, why the gap is there. Here also same thing happened. Okay, data may be very far from others. This is called exception. Okay, this is called exception. We need to avoid that one. Getting it. Fine. We can only take this up to this level. We can avoid it. This is called outliers. When none of the data is getting correlated, we call as outlier. Another thing example is if there is one class, all the people are got around 45 marks only. The average mark is only 45. All the people got 45 and one student only got 100 marks. Okay, only all the people got only 45, 25 or something around this. Only because of one person got 100 marks, if you average out, he may the class average may fall around 60. This is not 60 marks. This is not an actual thing, right? The class average may not be 60 if the 1% data is not included. It means the class average may be like around 40 or something only, 40 or 35 only. Only because of one person, all the average is getting high and made as a 60 as a average mark. In that case, as a data scientist, you need to avoid this person. This 100%, the person who got 100 marks should be neglected and consider only this area of people. Okay, so this is the exception. This is called outlier. This will disrupt all the analysis because of one or very few people. Because of very few people, all the data get collapsed. So you need to have a check on these people also. Any doubt on this? Okay. So here you can see a box plot. We just first I will just explain a box plot and we can go for a Tableau. First I will give the Tableau introduction and after lunch we'll be giving exercises on Tableau. Okay. Here you can see something like this. This is called median, where 50% of data will be there. This is called lower quartile, where 25% to 50% of the data will be covered. And then it's just like a just like a histogram. This is also called a box plot. It is representing data in the different manner. Okay, same kind of thing. This is a minimum point. This is a minimum point. From here, 25% of data will be there. From this point, lower quartile to median, another 25% of data will be there. Here, completely 50% of data will be covered. From here to here, 75% of data, and upper quartile to maximum is here is 100% of data. Okay, this is also like a histogram. Okay, similar to histogram, where a lot of data will be more data will be represented into this area. This 25% to 75%. From lower quartile to upper quartile, this area having a lot of people will be presented inside this area. Okay, this is called interquartile range. Fine. Any doubts so far? So hope you understand about what is the data science and what is the impact of the data. Then I will show you what is a So you can just open your Tableau. Hope you can see the Tableau window. Okay. Can you see Tableau window? If you want any break, you can just tell me. I'll give you 5 minutes. I'll give you 5 minutes break. I think it's lunchtime, right? 12:30 to 1:30 is lunchtime, I guess. I'll give you a 5 minutes introduction on this. Whoever not installed Tableau, try to install it. And I already shared a data set here. Okay, one is eGov, EGOV hyphen data set. Okay, under this water pollution data set. One is in Excel format, another is CSV format. It's already I shared. Just download it, and keep it. Okay, I'll give you a small introduction. After lunch, we'll be working on the exercises using a Tableau. Fine. So here, once you open the Tableau, you can see something like this. Maybe in Tableau Public, all the features may not be available. Here, I can see a lot of features here because it's the complete tool. In your Tableau Public, you may have only the few options available. Okay. Here, in this Tableau, you can support a lot of files like Excel, PDF, or MySQL. These are some databases. MySQL, Oracle, or some databases here. And then normally you'll be using Excel here. Okay. First, you can just click on Excel and then select your data set. egov.gov. I'm just uploading that one. Okay. So once you click here, you can get something like this. So I want you to do parallelly. I don't want doing myself and just giving you. I want you to do parallelly along with me. Okay. Have you installed and have you following my thing instruction? If you not understand, just unmute it and you can tell me also. I want this is a very important thing. For before it was like a theory class. Now we need to do a practical thing. Okay. If you have any doubt, you can just ask, raise the question. Can you follow? Data set already shared in the chat. Okay. Can you find it? Data set already in the chat window. If you scroll before, you can see. Everyone got data set? Okay. For you, ma'am, I will just forward the data set. Maybe I will mail you. 1 second. Okay, I just mailed you. It's a quite maybe like a big data. It may take some time. We'll get it. Okay. So other people uh, can find this one, right? Have you just open your data set and then load it into a Tableau or not? If you are done means you can just give the thumbs up, or you can chat. You can even use the chat window. Data set not shared. I already shared here. You can see now. Morning itself I said. Maybe like 11 o'clock. Once I get in, I said I think. Okay, I will share to you also. Muthu Kumar, I will also share to you. Okay, you can just open your mail and check whether you got a data set. Got a mail? Just now I sent. They just check it. Muthu Kumaran, your mail ID is Siva Kumaran PML 27, right? I sent you, right? Okay, okay. Once you're done, you just try to load the data set into this Tableau. You can find the Excel window. In Excel, you can just try to load it. Once you load it, you can just click. You will finding the data set here. Maybe I'll continue for next 5 minutes and I'll leave for lunch. Then you can come back by 1:30. Okay. Okay. Here you can find something like connection. Here you can see something like connection. Live and extract. Okay. What is a live means? Whatever changes you are done in your original file will be reflected automatically in Tableau window. If you are something changing data like year 2003 or changing to 2004 or something, it will be automatically changed here also. This data set will be connected live with the original document. Okay, so original Excel file will be connected in live, so that whatever changes you are done with the original document will be reflected in the data set in Tableau window also. If you are clicking extract means whatever changes you are done in Tableau will not, maybe original file will not be reflected in the Tableau. It's all the data will be copied and pasted inside the Tableau. So whatever changes you are done in original file will not be reflected in Tableau. Okay. Any doubt? So once you're done with this, you can see something like as symbol. Okay. All the numbers will be denoted by this symbol. it is called categorical variable. All the categorical variable will be denoted by this symbol. If it is if it is numerical variable, it will be denoted by this symbol as number. If it is a categorical variable, it will be denoted by ABC. Okay, it will be denoted by ABC. All the categorical variable will be identified by the tableau by itself. We need not give the what is categorical, what is numerical. It automatically detect and then show you in tableau window. Okay, what is this data? This data is nothing but government data, where in each and every date and location, how many fire accident, how many theft, how many birth, how many death, how many new home purchase happened, how many old purchase happened, land purchase happened, new tender work, how many happened, how many new vehicles people are bought, old vehicles bought, new FIRs filed, how many energy is getting consumed, how many vehicles left, how many vehicles entered into the city or something, how many water pump into the city. So all this corporation data and police information data, maybe accident, theft, everything is tapped into a single data set. Okay, how many data is there? You can see something around. Once I open this, I think it's around 55,000 data. Let me check. Yeah, it's around 20,000 data. Okay, data is around 20,000 data. You can just open in our Excel sheet and you can check how many data is there. It's around 20,000 data. You can see. Okay, so have you done so far to this window? Can see something like here data source. Here we are in data source. If you want to combine from two sources, okay, if you have two sources, if you want to do combine two set of data set, you can use new union. Here you can see something like C3, right? And use new union, and then uh, you can upload another data. Okay, something like this. May not work all the time because it's limited version. Okay, only CSV file works. Okay. So there is a, you can just add another column. There is an option, you get an option like union. Okay, convert to union. Okay, so there are a lot of methods are there. Maybe I'll just cancel it. There are a lot of merging things are there. Because in Venn diagram you might have known automatically. Okay, you know the Venn diagram, right? In school days you might have done Venn diagrams. Okay, same kind of Venn diagram will be there. So here the set A will be there, set B will be there. Okay, A and B. For example, HR data. Take HR data, human resource data. One set of data will be like is employment ID, is date of joining, is salary, and is performance, everything, or maybe like salary and the date of increment, all those things. Okay, another data set will be there. One is his performance related data, his performance, employment ID, his performance, and his project handled, and the time is taken for handling the projects. All the data will be there. Okay, if you want to calculate appraisal for the next year, you need to know this data. You need to take this data and this data, both data you want. So what we'll be doing, we'll be merging this data and this data. But you don't want this date of joining, everything you don't want. You want only the appraisal date, sorry, whatever salary is getting so far, and then combine along with the employment ID. Here the common row will be employment ID. Okay, employment will be the common column in both of the tables. Here we'll be taking that one. Here it will be a employment ID. So we'll be merging two data set. This is called uh, all the A will be there, and only the part of A will be there. And all the B will be there. Okay. So this is one kind of union of data set, and another union of data set will be like all the column will be merged, whole thing will be merged. Another thing, only A will be there and B will be left alone. Okay, B will not be used. So these three kind of intersection will be using in data set. If we are dealing with 2 or 3 data set, this kind of thing will be used. You can use the union option to do the kind of thing. Fine. Any doubt so far? You know the Venn diagram, right? You forgot it or? I'll just close. I'll do it again and show you. One second. For Excel, choose a data set and open it. Okay, then give update. Make sure it is in live. Fine. Okay, so far hope you are done. If you are not done, you try to do this till now, and we will just break for lunch and then assemble by 1:30. Fine, 1:30, right? 12:30 to 1:30. So we'll assemble back by 1:30 and just do so far and go for lunch and come back by 1:30. Any doubt you can ask me. Yeah, you can merge two or more at one time. Okay, you can merge one or two even at the same time. You can merge. It should have a one only condition is it should have a similar what to say, similar maybe like same kind of, at least one column should be same, maybe like employment ID or roll number or whatever it is. It should be similar to some certain extent. Okay, if it's not there, we cannot do. At least one column should be equal so that you can merge it. Okay, so even if it is not there also you can merge it, but both thing will be appear in the same window, but the Tableau may not understand what you want to relate it. Fine. So you can even use 2 or 3 or even 4, you can merge it. There won't be any problem. Fine. Okay, just we can leave for lunch, can assemble back by 1:30. Fine. Okay, fine. I'm just stopping it here.